Perfectionists don't fail because they are weak. They fail because they have a brutal rule written into their nervous system. If it's not perfect, it doesn't count. That rule is the quiet killer of almost every transformation. You know exactly how it plays out. You start a new routine, diet, gym, work, content, whatever. Day 1, you're on fire. Day 2, still strong. A week in, you're proud of yourself. You've been perfect. No misses, no slips. Your identity starts to inflate. This time is different. This is the new me. Then it happens. A bad day at work. A fight at home. You're tired, angry, drained. Someone offers you the food you swore you'd avoid. Or you scroll when you swore you wouldn't. Or you skip the gym, the writing session, the deep work block. In that moment, you don't just eat a cookie. You pull the trigger on a mental nuclear bomb. I ruined everything. The perfectionist mind doesn't see one mistake. It sees the death of the entire project. So what do? You don't just slip. You dive. If I already ruined it, I might as well go all in. One bad meal becomes a full binge. One missed day becomes a lost week. One ignored task becomes a buried project. You don't fall because of the mistake. You fall because of the story you attach to it. Back to zero. I'm still the same failure. That's exactly what happened to Christopher. 3 months into his transformation, he was doing everything right. Drinking his water, having his portions, walking every morning. 14 kilos down. For the first time in years, he felt like someone in control of his life again. Then Thanksgiving came. The table was loaded. Turkey, pie, everything he used to drown himself in. Family pushing. Come on, just today. You're doing so well. You deserve it. At first, he resisted. Then he took just a little. Then a bit more. By the end of the night, his plate looked like his old life. Driving home, his stomach was full, but his chest was empty. The perfectionist script started. You see, it was all fake. You didn't change. You just pretended for 3 months. That night, he texted his doctor. I failed. I think I ruined everything. Perfectionism interprets a stumble as a verdict. One crack means the whole thing is worthless. But that's because perfectionism is built on a fragile fantasy. If I do everything right, I will finally be enough. So when you do something wrong, it doesn't just break your routine, it attacks your worth. That's why perfectionists swing so violently between obsession and collapse. They are not pursuing growth. They are trying to earn the right to exist. Now contrast that with Wabi-Sabi. In Japanese aesthetics, Wabi-Sabi is the love of the imperfect, the incomplete, the cracked. It's the teacup with a visible repair line, the surface that shows its age. It doesn't say, because it's flawed, it's worthless. It says, because it's flawed, it's real. When Christopher told the doctor he had failed, he expected anger or disappointment. Instead, the doctor asked one question. What did you do the morning after? Christopher said, ashamed. I drank my water, and I went for the walk. The doctor smiled. So you did not fail. You stumbled and then you kept walking. That is Wabi-Sabi applied to change. Perfectionism says, if I chip the cup, throw it away. Wabi-Sabi says, repair the crack. The repair becomes part of its beauty. Perfectionism in careers looks like this. You miss a deadline, freeze in a meeting, publish something that isn't your best. Instead of learning, you disappear. You stop taking risks. You say, I'm not cut out for this. Wabi-Sabi says, that presentation was rough. Good. Now the version I give 3 months from now will exist because this one did. Perfectionism in relationships. You say something hurtful. You pull away when you promise to open up. The moment you break character, you decide you're unlovable or doomed to repeat old patterns. So you either overcompensate with fake perfection, or you numb out and detach. Wabi-Sabi. I messed up. I will repair the crack, not hide it. The apology, the conversation, the adjustment, that's the gold in the fracture. Perfectionism in creative work. You don't publish until it's flawless, which means you almost never publish. You compare your first draft with someone else's 10th revision and conclude you're talentless. So your work dies in your head instead of in the world. Of course, the early work is flawed. That's not evidence that I shouldn't create. That's evidence that I just started. Perfectionism asks, how do I protect a flawless image? Wabi-Sabi asks, how do I keep moving with my cracks visible? Here is the brutal truth. Change is not a straight line. It is a dirty staircase. You will slip. You will miss steps. You will sit down halfway and hate everything. The question is not, will I ever stumble? The question is, what do I do in the 24 hours after I stumble? Perfectionists burn their progress to avoid feeling imperfect. People who truly change do something far more uncomfortable. They keep going while feeling flawed. So, if you want to change anything, your body, your work, your art, your relationships, stop worshiping perfection. Perfection gives you a short high and a long crash. Wabi-Sabi gives you a steady, almost boring trajectory of growth that, over time, looks like magic. You don't need a life without cracks. You need a life where cracks are allowed as long as the next morning you still drink the water, still take the walk, still sit down to do the work. Your progress is not destroyed by a bad day. It's destroyed by the belief that a bad day erases who you are becoming. So the next time you break your streak, ruin your diet, miss your session, explode in an argument, notice the perfectionist voice saying, back to zero. Don't argue with it. Don't negotiate. Just answer with a new rule. I am not trying to be flawless. I am trying to be someone who always returns. That is Wabi-Sabi. That is why perfectionists almost never change, and why the ones who embrace imperfection quietly, relentlessly, do.